The lean management system at Thedacare we call our business performance system. And we began that work in 2008 after we'd been doing value stream work and Kaizen rapid improvement events and saw great breakthroughs. But we were seeing our results start to plateau, and we felt that we needed to have an opportunity to sustain those improvements as well as connect daily continuous improvement. So we ran a couple of experiments, and then we pulled together a team to actually use the lean tools, the Kaizen tools, to build a management system.
We can do it, we can put our efforts together, we're an excellent team, but how do we get to that place of really sustaining the change? And the opportunity, the structure around lean management system is just that link. It's the opportunity for a system to pull together the foundation, the structures, the opportunity to develop our people to really sustain some of the changes that we either have introduced or newly identified opportunities.
It has been phenomenal to observe the engagement of staff in this particular initiative. It is very fulfilling to go up to the floor and see the daily stat sheet, see the team gathered around the table talking about the problems, talking about how they're going to develop plans to solve those problems each and every day. The huddle boards are another great experience where you see multidisciplinary interprofessional teams come together to stimulate ideas, to talk about ideas and see how those ideas can move through this particular system to become a reality and improve patient care ultimately, and some of the processes associated with delivering high quality patient care and ensuring staff are doing value-added work.
The biggest benefit is with staff engagement. I think the staff truly like knowing that their frustrations are being heard and that they have the opportunity to bring forward the solutions in order to solve their concerns and solve their problems. And I think when they're trying to integrate it through the rest of the unit, when they hear it from peer to peer, is so valuable, and it drives that change and that momentum, and it just keeps getting things going. So I think that is the greatest benefit we've seen on our unit.
Some of the benefits of introducing lean management for us has really been bringing the team together. We're having daily conversations now about quality issues, about safety issues, about opportunities for improvement. Primarily, everyone comes to work because they want to make the best experience for the patient. So lean management has actually provided us with a very formalized structure so that in the busyness of our day-to-day, it reminds us to come back to what's really important, and that is, the work that the staff are doing to support the patient population.
This lean management system has really opened my eyes as to how the hospital runs as a whole. I've been a nurse for 31 years and frontline the whole time. I care for my patients. I love working in a fast-paced area, but it didn't really concern me, or I didn't think it concerned me regarding the business of the hospital. We have really good managers and directors, but I figured they had their role, and as a staff nurse, frontline nurse, I have my role as strictly patient care. I saw a new way of looking at things, how what we do as frontline staff impacts the whole hospital, and what the management, directors, business directors all do affects us as frontline staff as well. So we really are a team, and we can improve on what we're doing as a whole.
Lean management has meant for me as a director an opportunity to bridge a gap between corporate priorities and the reality of what's happening on a local level with the patients directly. So how do we bring kind of the corporate true north metrics and vision for and support for the organization to a place where we can see that happening at a patient interface level, at the local unit level, and at the same time, how do we support the teams providing the care to have the voice that they need to align to some of those priorities.
Lean management for our unit has really become a platform that we can look at how we do our everyday work and where are our opportunities that we can actually make improvement. And what I like to see and what I'm able to now have discussions with staff about is how the work that we do every day with our patients right at the bedside actually connects to what's happening on a larger scale throughout our organization. And so we're moving away from the coming down from the top and telling us what's important to us, being able to say, this is what's happening today with our patients, this is what matters, and this is how our work feeds up into the organization and what's important for us all as a collective.
Our goal is to develop our people to solve problems and then improve performance. That is our goal of the whole PDSA. And so what we learned, and sort of inadvertently in terms of the magnitude, is that now we see our managers and our supervisors and our VPs in the work. We see how they're coaching their teams, and so as a leader I can be more effective in coaching them. So when I have my monthly meeting with my managers or my VPs, we're talking about their personal development. It's no longer a report of what they've done in the last month, because I'm in the Gemba and I see their work. So the developing people is really the #1 attribute of the management system. If you develop them to think PDSA and solve problems, the outcome is improved performance.
It's amazing the perspective that you get from going through this process. From being a floor staff and into a leadership position over the years that I've worked at Scarborough Hospital. The particular unit we piloted was a unit that I worked on as a frontline staff. So, you know, over 10 years of experience there, over 4 years experience, 5 years experience as a clinical resource leader in the organization, and yet I still learn new things about the business. So it's a real eye-opener to how much just asking a few questions in a structured way makes a huge difference in terms of how you learn about what's going on.
The ability to participate in both stat reports, status sheets, and the daily huddles has allowed me to actually really see firsthand what they're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. As you're involved with several of them, you start to feel the cadence, the flow of what goes on in there and what they're dealing with on a daily basis. So it puts you a little more in tune with what's really happening as opposed to being told what's happening. It also changes the relationship a little bit in that the frontline staff see you there, they see you asking questions, and they see that you're interested.
The one thing that probably my takeaway message, and thinking about our spreadability and sustainability, I remember being at Thedacare and hearing about it for the first time and sitting in that big group and all of us going, how in the world are we going to do this? This sounds so huge. This is never going to work. Oh, and just, you know, all those thoughts crossing your mind. And then when we get back, and I think just taking it in those baby steps of starting with the status sheet, then you introduce, you know, the huddle boards, your leadership team, and really going through it at a nice, slow, even pace. It's totally doable, and I think we were all a little bit surprised, especially with that first introduction of the status sheet, about how easily that flowed and transitioned from a very sort of normal conversation we were having to, wow, we did a status sheet, and now people are expecting it, and it's very part of our morning routine now. So it's really nice to see that, hey, it can work, and it does work.
I think sometimes we assume that staff are really busy and they don't have time to address these issues, and one of the biggest barriers, we're like, how are we going to get them to the performance huddle? How are we going to get them to be owners of these problems? And that was not that hard. I think that they're in our particular organization, they are searching to find a way to be empowered to kind of fix these problems. They want to learn how to do it. They have really enjoyed kind of our A3 training and PDSA training sessions because they want information, they valued it, and they want to learn how to do that for themselves, which is something that maybe if you'd asked us 6 months ago, we would have thought that would have been the hardest sell.
Knowing now what I know about the lean management system, you could never go back to how you managed before. I mean, the tools that you use to find out about problems on a daily basis in advance before they're huge problems, you could never go back to the firefighting that you did before. It's just how you do things. It's your work day, it's their work day, it's how we get things done.